And good evening, good afternoon, good morning from wherever you are watching. Welcome to Slow Motion Broadcasting for the first race of the third series of XSLR season number 9. Round number 9, too, of this season, we are driving the 87 NASCAR Cup car. Non-restricted engines around one of the most famous tracks in all of North America, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, home of the Coca-Cola 600, and of course the former home of the NASCAR All-Star race. For many years. Many drivers have come and gone to win $1 million out of this place. Of course, on the weekend before the Coca-Cola 600, we're using the 87 NASCAR Cup cars featuring the Chevy, the Ford, and the Pontiac. So 3 different car manufacturers, but one fast track. This is a great track, though. I'm Adam Thompson. Joining me running the cameras, and my color commentator is Joshua Wilkie. And we got qualifying underway here, and right now on top, taking provisional pole, is Adam Thompson, our points leader, and of course Ethan Orr on your screen now. He is in second place. So, and it looks like qualifying is wrapping up here as we begin our broadcast. Now taking a look at Jake Ham, currently second in the points, and he is somebody who is very familiar with this 87 Cup car. The one challenge about this car, again, it is a unrestricted engine. So you have a lot of horsepower going to the ground, and you've got to control every aspect, especially around a track like this. You can't just keep your foot pinned to the floor. You have to lift, allow that car to roll through the corners. As Jake Ham comes across the line, his best time, a 31.48, which puts him into P4. Hunter Comer, a newcomer to XSLR in this series, has just put up a time of a 31.52, goes 5th quick. But yeah, this is one of the most, I would say, the most challenging of the 4 tracks we are visiting here with the NASCAR 87 Cup car. And that is because it's a lot of lifting. This is the first race of 4 in this series. This is series 3 of season number 9. After this, we head to Talladega. And Talladega Super Speedway, of course, a 2.5-mile super speedway, is up next on the calendar. And then we head to Daytona International Speedway, and we wrap up this third series of season 9 at Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. So some technical difficulties happening here, but Josh Wilkie is getting those all fixed up, and looks like it is getting all fixed up as from what I can see here. And that is going to be the end of qualifying here. So 5 minutes are in the books. There is no heat races with this series. We are going to get everybody on the track. We have 13 drivers who have checked in for today's race. So we'll get everybody gridded up, and let's take a look at the order at the starting lineup here. Starting the front row on the pole position, it's going to be the 244, of Adam Thompson, and on his outside, the 222 of Ethan Orr. Row 2 on the inside, the 821 of Tyler Brown. On his outside, the man who we will keep a close eye on tonight, it's the 85 of Jake Ham. Row number 3 on the inside, Hunter Comer in the number 9. The 78 of Derek Wilkie will start on his outside, starting 6. Row number 4 on the inside, the 552 of Jason Greider, and on the outside in P8, the number 28 of Chad Gross. Row number 5, the number 50 of Andy Kosick in the Pontiac, and on the outside, the number 98 of Matt Last. Outside of the top 10, the number 29 of Joshua Sushi, and starting on the inside of row number 6, and on the outside, the number 7 in the Chevy of Kevin Irwin. And our final starter, the 021 of Slow Trickle, or as some of you might know him as, is Charles Bochelle, one of the commentators here at Slow Motion Broadcasting, who's actually on the broadcast earlier today with Weekend Warriors. So good to see him in the 87 NASCAR Cup car. Now, one of the best things about the Charlotte Motor Speedway is its long, rich history, of course, home to many of the professional NASCAR drivers in this country. and it provides such great racing. Of course, we're not going 600 miles tonight. We're only going 70 laps with cautions included in that. So be on the lookout for some wrecks. Again, these cars are very, very difficult to drive. They're very quick. You can't just stomp on the gas and go, not like the current Cup car that is out there today. And it's because of its unrestricted engine. Look at the size of the steering wheel. You don't see steering wheels that big anymore. And of course, the little air fan that is in these cars, that's how the drivers kept themselves cool. They didn't have these fancy cool suits or anything. They just had a tiny little fan that was blowing air on them and everything. So Adam Thompson, Ethan Orr will lead the field away. The pace car lights are out, and that means we're going to go racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 70 laps on the board. But again, we got to keep our eyes on Jake Ham. I think he is going to be a good guy to follow, a good driver. He is very familiar with this car, as he told us a couple weeks ago here on Slow Motion Broadcasting after we wrapped up the Lucas Oil Pro 4 trucks. Pace car is up, field out of turn number 4. Geico restart zone just in front of him, and we are green. Adam Thompson takes off from the race lead. Gets a very healthy 5-car gap down the front straight. Everybody else trying to jostle for position as we now go into turn 1. This is going to be a massive, massive challenge with cold tires. You can see on the outside of in second place, that's Ethan Orr. And now finally Jake Ham will slide up the track and slot into that 4th spot. You can see everybody just currently relaxing a little bit. Now it's a little bit of side-by-side action. Heard a little bit of fender rub across the wall. That we will see quite often tonight. Would not be surprised if no car goes unscathed here in this 70-lap race. Again, very difficult cars to drive. Now on board here with Ethan Orr in the 222, trying to get by Jake Ham. As now Jake Ham has moved up into the 2nd spot, has moved up 2 spots. He is in 2nd in the points championship of XSLR. He would love to get some wins here and try and get back closer to Adam Thompson. But the 821 of Tyler Brown down the inside of Jake Ham. That's not Jake Ham. That's Tyler Brown and Ethan Orr. Tyler Brown will just slot into the 3rd spot. A little bit of a slide job there, as some of you remember from the first series with the 410 winged sprint car. You heard the term slide job quite a bit used in that series. Now, right now, what you are thinking about as a driver is how you preserve your tires. We will have pit stops in this race. These tires will burn up very, very quickly, so you will have to pit at some point. So, and you can see right now 170 miles per hour entering turn number 1. Just think about that. 170 miles per hour here, Josh. And in a car that has very loose handling, unrestricted engine, it's going to be very interesting what's going to happen here throughout the remainder of this race.
Absolutely. Yeah, these cars, got my little technical issue figured out here. These things are just amazing around here. It's unbelievable how fast they are able to go. And yeah, just watching these guys be able to, that gigantic wheel sawing away every corner, and things never settled on the ground. Just awesome to watch it drafting each other here, for sure, Adam.
So far, no incidences, no cautions. Now you can see on the inside there is that Atari car, the 222 of Ethan Orr. Ethan Orr goes down to the low side. These cars are so difficult to hold on that low side and pick up in any speed. That's why you see a lot of guys up on the higher groove. It's tire saving. You can save a lot of your tires just up in that upper groove. If you use that lower groove, you are going to just make your tires scream, cry, and pout until they say they've had enough.
Yeah, I would imagine out here that's what you're managing, right, is those front tires a bunch. I don't drive these a lot, but you can kind of see it now, I believe. And, you know, correct me if I'm wrong here, Adam, but they're kind of high on that higher line there, just trying to save the tires early. Is that it? I would imagine if you're trying to get down to that apex and get on the gas as early as you can, lap after lap after lap, you're just going to wear those things out.
Yep, that's exactly what you're trying to do. You're trying to just preserve as much tire life as you can. And these tires are not like today's NASCAR Cup tires, which can just last forever. These things are just like basically a road tire. They can just wear out very, very quickly here. They are slicks technically, but they were made of the same compound back in the day that was very thin. It wasn't as good as it is today with the cut tire compound. And now you can see a little bit of action further back. Andy Kosick in that number 50, riding in 7th right now, is getting 2 spots on the day and just trying to find a way to get back up to the pack. Now, one of the things about oval asphalt racing is not only just tire preservation, but also a little bit of fuel preservation. You want to maybe extend yourself about a lap or so on the fuel side, because that means when you pit, your next pit stop, yes, you're going to wait a little bit longer, but you will have a better chance of getting to the end. The cautions can fall at any point in time in this race, so that can really throw a wrench into pit strategies. Of course, next week when we go to Talladega and Daytona, and the next actually couple of races in, that's also going to be something to keep an eye on, is fuel saving. Now, in the next gen car, it's very easy to fuel save, especially if you're in a draft. All you got to do is just lift off the throttle. You're not going to be fully down and hit the throttle at 100%. And you can save up to 2 to 3 laps of fuel in a fuel run just by sitting in a draft. In these cars, it's a lot more difficult because you are putting the pedal to the floor more often. And so these cars are not going to have that same fuel preservation strategy as you would in a normal NASCAR today. That's what makes these cars so dang challenging, is that there are so many different quirks. There's a high skill level with them, and you have to learn it. And for some of these, most of these guys have never driven an 87 NASCAR Cup car on an official iRacing race. Fortunately, this past week, they were all at Talladega in the NASCAR Legend Series. Let's just say it did not go well for me. I've raced there plenty of times in this car. It never works out. I will just be minding my own business, and I will still somehow end up in somebody's wreck. But that's the challenge of these cars, that they're so fast. And even at Talladega, you are not flat-footed all the way. You have to lift at some points in time just so you're not losing the rear end of the car. And that's where you're going to lose it. You're not going to lose the front. You're going to lose the rear first, Josh. And now you can see right now the pack is starting to close back up to Adam Thompson, who did have a significant lead at one point in time here. Jake Ham has now closed the gap to 1.1 seconds, which on a track like Charlotte is actually not that bad. You can make that gap up quite easily. As we're riding on board here with Chad Gross, some great camera work going here at Slow Motion Broadcasting. Thank you to Whiplash for that. We appreciate you helping us out here at Slow Motion Broadcasting. And you can just see everybody just kind of in line here. A little bit of a door rub there for Adam Thompson, which is probably not helping him a little bit. So you can see now Jake Ham right on the back bumper here has closed that down to a 10th. Will he go for the move now? No, he does not. He stays back. And you won't be seeing many moves happen into turn 1 just because of the way that this track is shaped. It's a quad oval. It's got just, it has those 2 extra really just kinks on the front straight. And Jake Ham is trying to make the move stick here, and he goes down the inside and he will slide up the track. And we have a new race leader. It's the 85 of Jake Ham who takes the race lead. And what will Adam Thompson think about doing? Will he think about trading positions and just continue this battle here? Because again, you do that, you may lose the tires almost side by side, can't make the move stick. And Adam Thompson just has to tuck in right behind his championship rival here at XSLR. Now, this is a great camera angle. You can actually study a little bit of the driving styles here. Adam Thompson goes down to the low side, so almost alongside Jake Ham, and now they're side by side down the back straight. Jake Ham trying to make his way by. He gets out of it. And Jake Ham will just have to maybe settle and just hold on to that higher line here, because right now he has the advantage of tire wear. And good run through the front straight by Jake Ham to keep his nose out in front here. And Adam Thompson does have the race lead technically, but this battle is not over yet. But if I'm Jake Ham, I'm not pressing the issue any further.
Yeah, it looks totally wild out there. A little bit of damage on the front of Thompson's car there from rubbing the wall. Don't think that's going to bother him too much here. It doesn't look like it's doing anything, just cosmetic, a little bit of paint off there, but you can definitely see just how loose these cars are, trying different lines there. Bit of a argy-bargy there, I think, between the two of them for Jake Ham to get by him on that initial pass as well. I think we kind of missed the door jam there, but a little bit of a touch perhaps.
Just a tiny bit of a touch again, and these things are steel body cars. They're not composite bodies or anything. These things are steel body cars. So once you wreck, and you wreck hard. These cars get destroyed just by just anything, any little thing. The composite bodies that we see today on the current NASCAR Cup cars, they actually don't dent as much, and you can get back out there, run more laps. But these steel body cars, they definitely have some weaknesses, and that's something we'll have to keep our eyes on, especially when we go to the super speedways. A track like this, you're going to see the field spread out very easily, just because it is what we would call an intermediate track in today's standards. It doesn't have that super speedway feel. You don't draft on this track. It's really about corners and your cornering speed and how quickly you can get through them. This has not been given the Atlanta treatment, so that's a good thing. SMI has not touched this track, and it's been an awesome track for NASCAR to go to. And there's the Duffy car of Joshua Sushi, the number 29, gets into the wall a little bit there. That will scrub off a lot of speed. Jason Grider will be happy about that because he can just pull away. And Jason Grider, the only driver driving the Ford Thunderbird in this race. So very interesting to see that. And there's only one other driver that's in a different car, and that's Andy Kosick, and he is in the Pontiac. Back in this day in NASCAR history, you had Chevy, Pontiac, Ford, other cars. What other cars did they have out there? As I'm pulling up my list of cars.
Yeah, my history in these not quite so good there. Wasn't definitely watched it back in the day, but not as much as maybe some did. But these cars, man, driving them around this track, you can see them sparking and bouncing off the ground. And even the old footage you can pick up online there on YouTube and stuff of the guys who used to drive these, just unbelievable machines that they were going as fast as the modern cars do, with like a quarter of the safety precautions.
It was a Pontiac Grand Prix, a Chevrolet Monte Carlo, a Buick LeSabre, and a Ford Thunderbird. So the only car that's not being ran tonight is a Buick, but that's also because the Buick wasn't really all that great in this era of NASCAR. You really had your Chevy and your Fords that were really good. Pontiac was right up there, but they're like today's Toyota. We'll get a few wins, but not as quick as like a Chevy or a Ford would be. So, of course, the famous Dale Earnhardt Sr., the number 3 car, as everybody knows, drove a Chevy Monte Carlo and was with Chevy his entire career. But this is where he made his name, was in cars like this. And if you ever want to watch some really good NASCAR racing, you look back at the history of NASCAR, there is the NASCAR Classics YouTube channel that has races all throughout every era of NASCAR. And, you know, every now and again, I will just turn it on and watch a Bristol race or a Charlotte race or a Talladega Super Speedway race or a Daytona 500. Awesome races. And we got one in the pits already. And who is that? That is Matt Last 98. Don't see any damage on the car. So he will come down pit road to probably change tires. He must be feeling the tire wear and how hard it is. Now, these cars don't have pit limiters. These cars are, you have to control your pit speed. And you can see on the dashboard there, you don't have a miles per hour. All you got is a rev limiter and just different gauges of sort. But you do not have a a speed gauge. So you had to, when you were coming down pit road and pit speed was a thing, you had to control it by the RPMs, and that's what they even do today. They don't have those. They don't have speedometers or anything like that. So, and this is the first time in this series this season, Josh, that we're actually having full-on green flag pit stops. Now, why is Matt Last in the pit so long?
This feels like it's too long. Ah, gotcha.
So he's fed in pit lane. So that is the reason for the long stoppage, and he will now come out of the pits. That's unfortunate for him. That is not what you want to have happen. And now Jake Ham is back out in front. He has gained 3 spots on the day. And yeah, that will put Matt Last at least a lap down. And now Kevin Irwin entering the pits here on lap number 27. The cheese car. It's our favorite looking car, Josh.
You gotta love the cheese car. Yeah, we're missing the livery on the cheese car tonight there. I do have trading paints on, so maybe you just didn't do one up for this this particular round here, but gotta love the cheese car.
Gotta
as
love
his logo
it.
pops
Cheese
up in the corner there, so good timing.
But best part is he doesn't have a black flag, so he will
just want to be
get
a little bit shorter. Let's hope.
A little bit shorter. Now, one of the best parts about NASCAR racing is its pit stops. And the way that they do pit stops is that they have to do one side and then the other at 2 different times. So you'll see the crew go on one side, pump up the jack, replace the tires, drop it down, go on the other side, pump up the jack, replace those tires. Also, while in fact the fuel man has to get, will fill up the car while they're doing the right sides, will have to get out of the way for the crew to come onto the left side and then go back and fuel it. So that is one of the kind of the quirks of NASCAR, especially if you're coming from the open wheel world or the Formula One world, where the crew is just out there ready to go, and then bada bing, bada boom, and their pit stops, all 4 tires on at the same time. So one of the many reasons why stock car racing is so great is that the pit crew has to be very athletic in these situations. They got to run around the car. They got cars coming around them everywhere. These things are heavy. That's probably one of the things about NASCAR. These cars are not a Formula One or an open wheel car. They are very heavy. Of course, if you do watch NASCAR like myself, you have seen your fair share of pit crew members getting hit by a car. It happens. It's a part of the sport. And usually those pit crew members are okay. There has been a couple incidences where they've ended up in a hospital. But not very often does that happen, especially in today's NASCAR world. And Hunter Comer, I'm seeing something that he has crashed on.
Yeah, I'm just seeing that as well here. We'll see if we can't catch up with that. He has actually jumped to pits too. He didn't drive it to pits, which is never a good sign. So let's just see what happened here. It looks like he didn't bring out a caution though, so was able to get out of the way. But let's see what happened to Hunter.
He's on the
apron. He may have just parked it here. Oh, maybe we have a. Yeah, I think he has just parked it up for the day by the looks of it here. So no, maybe ran out of gas. Maybe we'll see him come back out. I don't think so. He had a lot of forward momentum there. He'd have been able to bring it in. So I think maybe Hunter's called it.
Yep, he has. He's out of the car. And probably went, oh man, this car is way harder than I thought. And that, for a lot of people who jump into this car without a ton of practice, that's the one thing that this car requires is a lot of practice time and seat time to really get used to. You don't see a lot of drivers just hop in blindly, no practice time, and be able to do well, because it is a handful to drive. And then you have to add the element of tire wear. And this car, when those tires go, this thing is it is very difficult to drive. It's
that's a great point, honestly. The first time I got in here, driving the car, I was having fun driving the car, but was really not expecting the front tires to fall off the way that they did. If I remember correctly, I think I just did a kind of open lobby or something like that with some people, and my tires fell off in probably like the 10th lap or something, because I was just pushing so hard, not realizing that that's not how you drive this car. You have to baby the tires and use them kind of accordingly and so on. So that was the hardest part for me, and that it's just constantly moving around underneath you and stuff too. It's a pretty fun car to drive. Definitely challenging.
Well, there's our race for the lead. It's grown a little bit here. Jake Cam in control here as we are on lap number 34 of 70. Would not be surprised if we see these guys pit here in just about 5 or 6 laps. And within that window, we are in the fuel window for sure. So these guys are going to pit at some point in time. You can see everybody, it's been a fairly clean race, I would say. A lot of just wall scrapes, nothing terrible going on between these drivers. Tyler Brown started third, currently is third. I'm excited for the next 2 races, though. Josh, we got Talladega and Daytona on the schedule. The only thing that we're missing is a short track. There was no short track scheduled. Instead, they opted for Pocono, which in itself will be a challenge, the 3-corner monster, or the tricky triangle as they call it. But man, you know what I would have loved to see? A Martinsville or or Richmond, Dover, any of those tracks. There's Adam Thompson now into the pit lane. This will be crucial. Hopefully he did not speed. Looks like he's still good so far. He's got to get into the pit box still. And you can see this pit speed is just so low. The pit speed limit is 45 miles per hour. These cars were entering corners at 170. So tells you the kind of the speed difference and why you've got to be so careful on the pit road speed limit. And Adam Thompson will get in and out quite quickly. Looks like he only took two tires on that right side, and which is absolutely okay because you're actually not putting a ton of wear on the left side tires in these cars. So putting on just rights and going out is fine. It's back on the track. He almost went over the line prior to the cone, so that could have been a penalty right there, but he doesn't. And Adam Thompson comes out in the 10th spot and loses a lap. Now Jake Ham into the pit lane to try and cover up the 244 of Mr. Adam Thompson, your points leader. And he is, again, going down to that 45 mile per hour pit speed limit. And he does a great job pulling into that pit box. Don't want to go too far forward. Not what we saw the other night at XMS here on Slow Motion Broadcasting, where we saw a lot of guys on the Indy Oval missing their pit box. And it's such fine margins when you come to oval racing. And there's a great shot of what I was talking about. The speed, what you have for gauges. All you have is an RPM gauge. That's all you got. You don't have a speedometer. And this will be a race off of pit road here between Tyler Brown and Jake Ham. And Jake Ham will just get barely out in front. And Adam Thompson does get the jump on Jake Ham because Jake Ham took 4 tires. So that is
much longer pit stop there. Yep. Much longer. Much longer. Not sure what the times were on that. Let me look on your screen here. Jake got about 11 seconds versus 22. Yeah. So, wow. Yeah, that's almost like a whole nother pit stop on top of Adam Thompson's there. And then Tyler Brown being able to make up a ton of ground on Jake Ham as well there and actually get out, I believe, in front of him here for at least a short time. No, he is actually behind him, but made up a ton of ground on him here as well. So, bit detrimental for Jake Ham. We'll see if that pays off with all 4 tires, Adam, you think? Or is that going to be kind of not a good one here with not so many laps left?
Well, it depends on how hard Adam Thompson is running. Right now, he is running his last lap was a 32.96 as we see more drivers into the pit lane. We have
Ethan Orr loses it.
Eric Wilkie. Oh!
He's lost it in the pit. Yep, I believe so. We'll see if we can't get a replay of that, but it looks like he got on the brakes a little bit too hard there and lost it. As you see him wiggling around, making sure he hasn't knocked something loose there or doesn't have a steering issue, but that's not going to help him out. That's a few seconds for sure.
And it just gets from bad to worse for the 28 car. He slid a little bit forward in his box, and then he had to reverse. Now, Ethan Orr in the 222, you can see him in that second pit box. He's getting all 4 tires done. I maybe think that maybe Adam Thompson took a bit of a gamble here because I'm looking at lap times. Jake Ham ran a 31.7. Adam Thompson ran a 33.2. So just almost 2 seconds of a difference between the two. Well, it'll be interesting. Maybe that was because people were in front of him and couldn't quite make moves happen quickly. And I do apologize. I have to be a little bit cautious. Last week or so, I've been dealing with a cough. Ever since really last Friday, not this past Friday, but the Friday before. So I'm trying to keep my voice a little bit under, keep it strong for all you watching at home on Slow Motion Broadcasting's YouTube. But the excitement, if I do that, I'm going to sound like a pubescent child. So not trying to go as far into the excitement realm, but you'll see some voice raises. And there's the replay of Ethan Orr losing it on pit road. It's just not sure what happened there. I bet did he get a black flag for that?
Trying
and
to
we have a
catch
crash.
Oh no. Yeah, we'll get back to live pictures here. Doesn't look like it's gone yellow.
It's Andrew Kosick. He's got a meatball flag.
Definitely in the pit stop here. Yeah, let's see if we can't reel that back as well. So he's jumped to pits as well, Adam. Again, not seeing any kind of incident here on my ticker at all. He's just jumped to pit, so I'm going to imagine that he just stopped and pulled over.
Well, he has a meatball flag, which means his car was damaged at some point.
Strange it's not showing up for me here, so we'll have to try to reel that one back, but kind of inconclusive at the moment as to exactly how he ended up in the pits.
So right now, the gap...
There we are.
Oh, just loses it trying to get the pit lane. Oh, that's
into the attenuator as well. That's a big one for him there. So you can see that's why it didn't show up, because the crash actually happened in pit lane. But yeah, not a good one there. Unfortunately, just kind of tripped over himself coming into the pit.
And I wonder if we got a caution coming out here, as Tyler Brown has had an incident. He has had a crash and he is going slow. No caution out yet. Let's see what happened to Tyler Brown. Just gets around the wall, Ross Chastain style, and spins her out. Yeah, let's see that one more time. And wow, yeah. And that is the struggle with these cars. They are just so difficult to drive and maintain the focus. And you can see he was just losing it until it finally just said, you know what, we're going to go for a ride.
Yeah, big tank slapper there. You can see him just sawing away trying to save it, and nope, unfortunately just nothing doing on that one. Wasn't able to gather it up, but fortunately kept it out of the wall. Went into the infield there. Didn't take any big hits or anything, but looking like he's still out there.
And great news, J-Cam has retaken the lead. And I figured that two-tire strategy was not going to work out just based on lap times. And J-Cam has been running almost over a full second faster than the championship leader here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Taking a look at this one more time for the race lead, and gets a good run off at turn 4 and just goes right by Thompson.
Blew his doors right off there, yeah. For sure. He hauled past him there. So yeah, I think we have our answer as to whether those 4 tires were going to work out or not. They're working.
They're working, and Chad Gross is potentially, he is actually 20 seconds down on Adam Thompson. So Adam Thompson's got to just keep his car pointed straight forward, and he will maintain that second spot. Back to the Andy Kosick crash. That is such an unfortunate crash, because that's the only part of pit lane that has a wall.
It is, yeah.
It's the only part. If he just made it like just another couple 100 feet, he would have missed it and went into the grass. But unfortunately, that is not how this track works. And you can just see he's trying to get down to the pit road, and just boom.
Unfortunate. Just to reel that back a little bit, see if we can't see exactly how it kicked off. It looked like maybe, yeah, he's just kind of trying to get low, I think is what happened, Adam. He's trying to get low for that pit, and he just, whoops. Yeah. Or maybe he wasn't going to the pit at all, actually.
No, he just lost the rear end of the car, and
what a bummer.
Yeah.
He could have chose the pit there, maybe, if he was a little bit more I don't think he knew it was right there. If he just would have went, okay, I'll go on the pit, maybe that would have worked out. I think he probably would have overspeeded into the pit, as we're seeing, not sure which car number that was, getting up into the wall, some lap traffic there.
Well, it's...
Who is that's the number 11 of Matt Lass. Yeah.
Oh, Matt Lass, his difficult day has gone from bad to worse. But fortunately, his car is still out there on track, so that's all you got to do. Just keep the car pointed forward and just get to the finish line. Now, Kevin Irwin into the pits now. No damage for him. No black flag either. This is an unscheduled pit stop because I think he can get to the end, but we will see what happens here. He's coming down pit road here, and he will make that stop. Again, that should be the cheese car, but unfortunately, we don't have a cheese car for any of you. So,
no cheese this weekend. Yep.
No cheese. It looks like he is
a bit of a long one.
Nope, it's a four-tire pit stop.
Oh. Must be a four tire. Yeah, sorry. And it is going to be just a little, almost identical to the other four-tire pit stops. So that's about the bar there. I believe the fastest one was Derek Folk there at a 22 flat.
So now the difficult part, getting off pit lane without losing it, because now you're going to get into what we call the marbles. The marbles scattered throughout that bottom side of the track, and he comes out just fine. No issues there. Gets on the bump. Of course, the famous Charlotte's Motor Speedway bump is right there. You don't want to hit that because you can get out of shape. Right now, J Cam has extended his race lead to 3.2 seconds. He is out of here. He is absolutely out of here right now. And right now, Adam Thompson, the championship leader, stuck between two lappers. And actually, Kevin Irwin is going faster than Adam Thompson after the pit stop and will gain his lap back and try and make up some ground here. He in the 021 slow trickle, or as we call him, Charles Bochelle.
I was gonna say he's doing great out there. I haven't really spoken much about him, but easily in the top 10. Yeah. Nice clean car. Yeah, Charles is doing great out there tonight. This is not an easy car to drive and be able to keep it clean amongst all this mayhem going on around him here too. He's done really well. Nice paint job as well.
Nice, yeah, exactly. A nice paint job. Very, very pink. A hot pink.
Love it. Yep.
Also, not to mention, he is our current hard charger of the race. Has gained 6 spots. Currently 7th position. So.
Oh wow, yeah, good for him. Yep, definitely hard charger award as well. Not easy to do. He's out there picking away at it. That's awesome. Good for Charles.
Yep. Just got it. And of course, if you just keep it on track, you can gain many spots, and you just can't overdrive this car. The minute you overdrive it, you end up like Andy Kosick.
You end up in the wall. Yeah, if I was him, I'd probably just attach myself. Looks like what he's doing here. Just kind of attach myself to Adam Thompson here. If you can stay kind of near him, you're putting some good laps in. You got the Duff car out in front of him here as well that I don't think he is currently racing against, but maybe he is. Is that the 29? It is the 29. So he is currently racing the Duff car right now. He's got a chance here, and it looks like honestly he's got a bit more tire than the Duff car at the moment as well. So he might make up a position here.
Now, using that inside line, you are going to gain a little bit of time. Good run off the throttle and then back into the throttle, and I bet Joshua Sushi kind of struggling with the tire wear now, because you can see just how much of an advantage. And Adam Thompson gets into the wall as well. And the Duff car, the 29 car of Joshua Sushi, will get by once again. You can just see everybody they're just trying to make it to the end at this point. No cautions has fallen in this race, so far so good. We are on lap number 58. Does that say 58? Yes, it does. So,
yep, 58.
Lap 58 of 70. We just have 13 laps here to go. This is going well, I would say, for everybody. And a little bit of a time loss there for Charles Bochelle. And Adam Thompson trying to get around the lapper. He will. Now, the best part about NASCAR racing, there is no blue flags. You don't have to get out of the way of the faster car. You can run your own race. It is the fastest car responsibility to find a way around you without crashing you. That's the difficult part. Especially at a short track. Especially at a short track, you'll see the fabled move, the bump and run. You won't see that here. The bump and run is not a trick I would use on a track like this. Too fast, you'll end up wrecking somebody and ruining somebody's day. But you can see Charles Bochelle now has gained back a little bit of time onto Joshua Sushi behind Adam Thompson here. It's just a matter, can Bochelle find a way through? Great camera shot we have here. You can see a little bit of wall rub there by Sushi, and now that's going to allow Bochelle to come within almost a car length of the 29 car.
I think he's down there biding his time, honestly. It looked like he had a pretty good run there a couple laps ago, but Thompson was kind of in the way, and knowing Charles, I know he's not going to want to go and ruin somebody else's race there, and I think he kind of thought better of it and backed out, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna take another shot at this one. Maybe I'm not gonna have to go 3 wide here to get it done, and I think that's kind of what he's trying to set up here. I feel like his car's got the pace there. He's just kind of waiting for it to happen.
Again, another impressive thing, no cautions here in this opening race of series number 3 of the XSLR season number 9. So good start to this series. Again, we started XSLR season 9 in the 410 wing sprint car. 900 horsepower wing dirt oval sprint car around some of the toughest tracks there is. Knoxville, Kokomo, Eldora, and USA International Speedway. Then we went to the Lucas Oil Pro 4 trucks, a dirt road truck, where we saw some high flying action there, which ended us up here on the 87 NASCAR Cup car. And if you like what you're watching, if you like this type of racing, this cross series racing, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to know whenever we go live. And we have plenty of series here at Slow Motion Broadcasting for all of you to watch, from Weekend Warriors with the Formula V and Spec Racer Ford to the Sim Racers group with the Formula 4 car. And then, of course, our newest series introduced here on Slow Motion Broadcasting, the XMS IndyCar Championship, featuring the IndyCar. And we just had our their version of the Indy 500, which around the internet. If I can talk, Josh is giving me that bug now.
We're trading back and forth there a little bit.
Yeah. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a great race there last Thursday. This upcoming Thursday, you can catch Ron Moz on the broadcast as he will bring the action from Long Beach. So some great racing action here on Slow Motion Broadcasting, and we highly recommend you subscribe to us. We're on the journey to 5,000 subscribers, so the more you subscribe, the more we'll love you. So, and make sure you also hit that like button. That like button helps us a lot as well, gets us up the order and algorithm when it comes to sim racing content and iRacing content. And you can also see shorts. Josh, do you edit those shorts? I couldn't remember if you did those or not, but you can see some of the shorts and stuff.
Yeah, it's me and Ron Mons there cranking those out. Usually we get a few of them out a week, and we'll be continuing to produce those every week. So yeah, those have been doing pretty well too. We're getting into the 1,000 or so views and stuff like that with those are over. So yeah, it's been really good. So keep an eye out for the shorts and stuff. Yeah, and as Adam's saying, we got a bunch of stuff coming down the pipe here with some special events, and ICS doing really well with the Indy Series and all kinds of stuff to keep your eye on here at Slow Motion for sure.
Yeah, it's been a great journey so far. Again, we bring you this content because we love doing this stuff. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. So Jake Ham, your race leader, has now extended to a 7.3 second lead. He is in the driver's seat, and he is cruising at this point. Doesn't have to push the car, but that's not going to stop him because he is in a championship battle with our second place runner of Adam Thompson Adam Thompson's gonna really have to work hard for this now, and that 2-tire strategy did not work out. We are now 3 laps away from the end of this one, and you can see he is just sitting there like a sitting duck. He is not going very far, and unfortunate day for Adam Thompson. Thought maybe doing a off strategy was going to be the winning strategy, and it was not, because those left side tires came into play in this track, and Adam Thompson can't even see J-Cam at this point, and that is such a demoralizing feeling when the guy you're racing is not near you. So we're on lap 69 here, and we should be seeing the white flag next time around. Great camera shot from the flag stand, and J-Cam will come out. White flag one more time around here for the 85 of J-Cam to try and close the championship gap. We did not have any points, so this week we'll have you updated point standings next week for Talladega, and J-Cam just cruising on home here. And don't let me forget to give Mr. Wet a hard time about the 2-tire strategy. But J-Cam, your race winner here in the first race of series number 3 of XSLR season 9. He comes across the line and he wins in the 87 NASCAR Cup car. Adam Thompson will come home second. He will be looking at his strategy and kicking himself a little bit here. Chad Gross, good 3rd place run from him. Derek Folke, the last runner on the lead lap, will come home to 4th. So a top 5 finish for Derek Folke. And Tyler Brown will come across the line in P5. A hard day for him. He had a unfortunate run-in with the pits, and Joshua Shushi will come home to the 5th spot, and Charles Bochelle comes home 7th in his debut this season. Up 6 spots, our hard charger Ethan Orr in 8th, Jason Greider 9th, Kevin Irwin in 10th, Andy Kosick in 11th, Matt Last 12th, and Hunter Comer. But let's do some burnouts in Charlotte. J-Cam, this is his championship to win, I would say, at this point, if he's going to be putting in performance like this, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen him do really good in basically every discipline now. He's either been there or took a win, or maybe even a couple wins. So, yeah, J-Cam definitely jack of all trades here when it comes to the XSLR thing, and was able to make that strategy with the 4-tire pit stop that really sealed the deal there for Adam Thompson. Just struggling. You saw Chad Gross there made up about 8 or 9 seconds to Adam Thompson since we last spoke about him there in the wee hours of the race. And a few more laps, it might have been a little different there between the two of them, but I was able to hold on to it as well. But great win for J-Cam tonight.
Very good win indeed. Do we have results? Can we put up final results here before we do our interviews?
Believe we do, yes. Let's see if we can pull that. It seems to be trying to. And there they are.
There we go. J-Cam, your race winner here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Adam Thompson 2nd. Chad Gross finishes in 3rd, up 5 spots. Derek Folk in the 4th spot. It gained 2 spots tonight. Tyler Brown lost 2 spots and finishing in 5th. Joshua Sushi up 5 spots tonight into the 6th spot. Slow Trickle, or Charles Bochelle, ends up in the 7th spot and is our hard charger. Ethan Orr in 8th, lost 6 spots tonight. Jason Greider, 9th place, lost 2 spots tonight as well. Up 2 spots tonight, the cheese car of Kevin Irwin, 11th outside of the top 10 tonight. In 11th, Andy Kosick after incident with the pit lane wall. And Matt Latz and Hunter Comer did not finish this race. So that is your final running order here. Let's go ahead and let's grab our interviewees. And our first person, as he's doing some burnouts, is going to be J-Cam. J-Cam, can you hear us?
Yes.
You got to win. in the 87 Cup car, and you're burning it down. Congratulations. Talk about the race. You weren't really under pressure in the last half of it, but you had to fight off Adam Thompson at the early start of this one.
Yeah, it didn't start the way that I planned. I didn't throw up a good quali run, but just took the opportunity to just kind of settle in, take it easy at the start of the race. And Adam kind of took off, pretty far. And I was like, well, I'm just going to take it easy. I know, he's probably going to fall back to me a little bit. And that ended up playing in my favor there. And then the right call here tonight was taking all 4 tires. I think Adam took 2. And what was really interesting is there wasn't much time difference on taking the tires. I mean, I took 4, Adam took 2. I only came out, I think, like 6 seconds behind him or something like that, and caught up with him, within a few laps and made the right call tonight.
By golly, you did. And congratulations. You don't have the points lead, unfortunately, after tonight, but you closed that gap just a little bit. Would you say the championship now is yours to win at this point?
I hope so. I mean, that's my goal, is to keep it kind of tight, as close as I could over the first couple series. They're not my sweet spot, but now we're in my sweet spot. I think I have the opportunity to make up quite a bit of ground on Adam, and we'll just see how it plays out. But I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, congratulations on your race win, Jake, and we'll see you next week for Talladega.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Jake Hammer, race winner. Adam Thompson, our second place sitter tonight, as we take a good look at his race. First off, wrong pit strategy, sir. I'm not sure what you were thinking with the 2 tires, but talk about your decision pitting for just 2 tires.
So a bunch of practice races we did. Jake was in there. He took only right sides and seemed to be just fine. I don't know why I came out of the pits and I was absolutely wrecking loose for 10 laps probably and just could not hold on to the car. Once the tire temps equalized, it was fine. I could have run the rest of the race like that. But for some reason, I don't know if it was a difference in track temp tonight compared to our practice sessions we were doing or what, but the difference in tire temps, just taking right sides tonight compared to all the practice races we've run, was not a good idea. So you live and you learn, but really there's nothing else I would have done different. I mean, I would have taken right sides every day of the week, and you ask me tomorrow if we do another race, I'll probably take right sides just tomorrow. But for some reason tonight, it was just undrivable for 10 laps.
Now, you did have the lead for a little bit here and had a great battle with Jake Ham, and just unfortunately just couldn't hold on to it prior to the pit cycle, but you did get obviously the advantage with your pit call. Just talk about the early stages of this race.
Yeah, I mean, it's all tire conservation in these cars. You just burn the right sides off of them so fast, especially the front right. It just becomes plowing loose, and so yeah, I fought him a little bit, but I mean, it was tire conservation mode the whole way, honestly. And I knew if I could get a jump on him, which I did, if I could pit 1 lap earlier, that would help. Again, it's all down to the way the right sides, the difference between the rights and the lefts reacted like they did. That's why I lost the race. And yeah, this is one race I'm gonna have to go back and look at and start to figure out why and see what happened.
Well, next week we head to Talladega. We just finished probably one of the tougher tracks of this series. Of course, Pocono will be its own challenge. When we go to Talladega, what are you hoping for there?
A clean race. I think that's all I can hope for. It's going to be a crapshoot. Who knows who's going to win it? Who knows who's going to podium? God, I just hope someone finishes the race, man. We've only got 2 quick repairs there, and all the practices we've done at Talladega, it's just, it's going to be a mess. It's going to look great on the broadcast, and I hope you guys bring some water or some energy drinks or something, because it could turn into a very, very long race if if people don't understand how the aero push works.
Well, anybody you would like to thank before we get you out of here?
You guys, every time. You and Mr. Wilkie. I want to give a shout out as well to Slow Trickle. That's Mr. Charles Beauchelle. Mr. Beauchelle was in there racing with us tonight, so pretty cool to see Charles in there. And it sounds like Charles is going to be with us for the rest of these 87 series, from what it sounds like. So it's going to be cool to see him. And and just a bunch of, just all the drivers that came out tonight. We have different drivers coming out every week, but we're still around 13 cars, and it's really, really cool to see. And we've had such a great season so far, and I can't wait to see how the rest of it goes. But finally, the first one I should have thanked, but I think the final is the most important, right, is my wife. She just got back from a baby shower, and I could hear her clonking around in her big old clonkers back there on our wood floor. So that wasn't distracting at all, babe. But so my wife and my baby girl Aspen, we had a bit of an ER visit last night. She had thrush, so that was a bit of a late night. But everybody's happy, healthy, and that's really all the shout outs.
Well, congratulations on his second place finish, and we'll see you next week at Talladega.
Thanks, Adam.
Our third place finisher is going to be Chad Gross. This is our first time actually talking to the man himself. Chad, congratulations on the third place finish. Talk about your race and how did it feel out there?
Oh, thank you very much. It was a great race for the number 28 Georgia Liquor Barn McFarland Wine and Spirits Zoot Lord Racing Chevy NASCAR this afternoon. It was fantastic.
Nice.
It must have been fantastic to drive. Had kind of a busier first half of the race, but once we got through the pit cycle, it seemed like it calmed down for you.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't get the qualifying I wanted out there coming in at P8, but I knew these races are just about surviving and just tried to survive the first stint. Came into the pit, didn't really know what I was doing, lost some time, and came out and just found my rhythm.
Well, that's great. Next week we head to Talladega. What are you hoping for there?
Hoping for a similar finish. I didn't get a great start on the dirt series and hoping to come back while we hit the pavement here.
And who would you like to thank for getting you this third place finish tonight?
I'd like to thank my teammate, Derek Folk, coming in number 4, giving me some clear air and allowing me to breathe.
Well, congratulations on the third place finish, and we will see you next week at Talladega.
Thank you so much, guys.
Our third place finisher of Chad Gross, and a good race from him. Well, Josh, we had a pretty, I would say, almost an exciting race. No cautions, went green start to finish. But next week, from what Mr. Thompson has said, we're going to be in for quite a show there at Talladega.
Yeah, I think Talladega will be quite the show for sure. We get a bunch of drivers out there, like he's saying. I think the aero and the drafting and stuff there is going to be a little bit more chaotic than it was here. We'll probably see a little more pack driving, but looking forward to it for sure, Adam.
Well, let's go ahead and let's get out of here. But first, before we go, let's tell you what's upcoming here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. Of course, Sim Racers Group will kick off our Wednesdays in the Formula Ford. And then Thursday night, you can catch Ron Mons in the XMSI IndyCar Series. And that is heading to Long Beach. Then we kick off your weekends on Saturdays at 3:20 p.m. with Weekend Warriors. That's the Formula V. And then Sundays with the Ray Esports Racing, part of the Weekend Warriors, and the Formula Ford. And then we cap off Sunday afternoons with the Spec Racer Fords at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. And then you can watch us here with XSLR every Sunday night starting 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, next week we head to Talladega. Well, thank you, Josh, for your awesome camera work as always. And of course, for everyone here at Slow Motion Broadcasting, my name is Adam Thompson. We will see you next week from Talladega Superspeedway. Good night, everybody.